Diabetes is a condition where your body struggles to keep your blood sugar levels in check. When this happens, sugar starts to build up in the bloodstream. That's what we call high blood sugar or hyperglycemia. Over time, too much sugar floating around in your blood starts to weaken your blood vessels, which can lead to damage in major organs like your heart, eyes, brain, arteries, and kidneys. Believe it or not, diabetes is one of the leading causes of death worldwide, and in many cases, it's brought on by years of poor eating habits. Here's how it works. Your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin, which acts like a key. It unlocks your cells so sugar can move out of your blood and into your cells to be used for energy. Studies show that more than 60% of adults have some level of insulin resistance. That's when your cells stop responding to insulin properly. It's usually caused by constantly eating sugary foods, refined carbs, or just eating too often. Eventually, your cells get overwhelmed and start shutting the door on insulin. They just can't take in anymore. This is what leads to diabetes over time, and it's one of the root causes behind so many health problems, from chronic illness to weight gain. The tricky part is that in the early stages, this might not even show up on an A1C blood test, because your body tries to compensate by pumping out more and more insulin. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 12 early warning signs of insulin resistance and diabetes that you should definitely watch out for. The first and most common early sign of prediabetes is dark patches of skin. You might start noticing areas of your skin, especially around your neck, armpits, or groin, becoming darker, almost velvety or leathery in texture. This happens when there's too much insulin or sugar in your blood, causing your skin cells to multiply faster than normal. These new skin cells produce more melanin, which makes those areas look darker than the rest of your skin. The second sign is something a lot of people overlook: sugar cravings right after eating. If your blood sugar levels aren't being managed properly, you may find yourself craving something sweet not long after a meal. That's because your cells aren't taking in sugar the way they should. So even though you've eaten, your brain still thinks you're low on energy, and it sends signals that make you crave sugar to get a quick boost. The third sign is blurred vision. In the early stages of insulin resistance, your eyesight might start to feel off. Things may seem a bit blurry or hard to focus on. What's going on here is that your cells aren't processing insulin and glucose like they should, and this causes fluid to build up in the lens of your eyes, making them swell. Over time, high blood sugar can also damage the tiny blood vessels in your eyes, leading to blurry, distorted vision, and even bloodshot eyes. The fourth sign of prediabetes is frequent urination at night. When there's too much sugar in your blood, it holds onto water. Sugar binds with water in your body. That means your kidneys have to work extra hard to filter out all that excess sugar, which ends up pulling more water out as well. This is why you find yourself waking up multiple times during the night to pee. And because your body's losing more fluid, you also feel more thirsty during the day. It becomes a cycle. The more you drink, the more you pee, and it just keeps going. The fifth sign is something you might not associate with blood sugar: puffy face. If you're eating a lot of sugar or carbs, and your body isn't able to manage it well, it can cause your face, especially your cheeks, to look bloated or swollen. This happens because excess sugar causes fluid retention. You might even notice puffiness around your eyes and eyelids, too. The interesting part, if you cut down on carbs for just a week or two, that puffiness often disappears quickly, not necessarily from fat loss, but because your body starts shedding that extra fluid. By the way, if this information is helping you out, don't forget to tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss future health tips. The sixth sign of prediabetes is tingling or numbness in your feet or hands. If you've ever felt a burning, tingling, stabbing, or even a sharp shooting pain in your toes, feet, or fingers, it could be a sign of something called neuropathy. What's happening here is that high levels of sugar and insulin are damaging the tiny blood vessels and nerves in your extremities. This damage can cause the nerves to misfire, sending weird signals to your brain. If left unchecked, This can eventually lead to full-blown numbness or even loss of function as prediabetes worsens into type 2 diabetes. The seventh sign to watch out for is skin tags. Now, it's totally normal to have one or two of them, especially as you get older, but if you suddenly start developing more skin tags than usual, especially around your neck, chest, or underarms, it could be a red flag. High insulin levels cause your skin cells to multiply quickly, and since insulin is an anabolic hormone, meaning it builds things up, it can cause these small growths to form. Interestingly, people who reverse insulin resistance naturally often notice their skin tags start shrinking or disappearing over time. Number 8 is something a lot of people struggle with: sagging belly fat. When there's too much sugar circulating in your blood, your body can't just leave it there, so it converts that excess sugar into fat to store it away for later. The liver often gets overloaded first, and when it can't handle it anymore, the fat starts piling up around your belly. This is why people with insulin resistance tend to have more stubborn fat in their midsection. The key to burning it off: lower your blood sugar and insulin levels consistently so your body can start tapping into that fat for fuel. I go deeper into that in my weight loss videos, if you're interested. Sign number 9 is something we often joke about: food comas, or feeling extremely tired after eating. The thing is, you're supposed to feel energized after a meal because you just gave your body nutrients. But if you find yourself feeling sluggish or ready to nap every time you eat, that's a sign your cells aren't absorbing the glucose properly. The fuel isn't getting in, so you're left feeling drained. Start cutting down on carbs and add more healthy fats. You'll likely notice that heavy post-meal fatigue start to fade away. Sign number 10 is itchy skin. If you're constantly scratching or dealing with dry patches that just won't go away, it could be a sign your blood sugar is too high. What's happening here is that elevated sugar and insulin levels are slowly damaging the small blood vessels that bring nutrients to your skin, so the skin becomes dry, irritated, and more prone to bacterial or fungal infections, things like boils or recurring skin rashes. And if you're eating a lot of sugar, you may also be depleting important nutrients like vitamin B3, which is essential for skin health. The 11th sign to watch out for is slow wound healing. If you get a small cut or bruise, and it just seems to linger for way too long, that's a red flag. High blood sugar thickens your blood and weakens circulation, meaning it's harder for oxygen and nutrients to get to your tissues. Over time, this poor circulation can lead to serious complications. That's why untreated diabetes is one of the leading causes of amputations, toes, feet, even parts of the leg. Catching these early signs is so important. And finally, sign number 12 is brain fog. You know that feeling where you just can't concentrate, like there's a cloud hanging over your thoughts? That could be linked to your blood sugar. When you eat too many carbs or sugars, your blood glucose spikes and then crashes. And during that crash, your brain doesn't get the fuel it needs. This can leave you feeling confused, forgetful, or just mentally drained, even if you got a full night's sleep. If this sounds familiar, it might be time to reevaluate your diet.